Okay, everybody, Michael Finley, write-in presidential candidate for 2016 here. Been making videos for a few years, posting them. And I realize that I'm a long shot, and the number one reason I'm a long shot is because I'm outside of the system. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the system today and about what that system is producing. Okay, number one thing about that system. A lot of you think it's a two-party system. That is a load of garbage. And I'm going to explain to you why. First thing is, the two parties are an illusion. I call them the two-faced party because that's more accurate. A lot more accurate. You want to understand why? Take a look at this statistic. The top, I think it was 50, might have been 60 donors to Hillary Clinton's campaign were the exact same top donors to Jeb Bush's campaign. You really think that's two separate parties? Baloney. Look at this statistic. Donald Trump used to be a great big donor to Hillary Clinton. That's right. The number one, in fact, the presumptive nominee of the Republican Party is a former major donor to Hillary Clinton's past presidential campaigns. You really think that's two separate parties? I got some bridges and all kinds of things to sell you if that's what you think. Because that's nonsense, and you ought to know better. Let's take some time and figure this stuff out, guys. All right, so there are no two separate parties. It's one party. Not only that, but we got all these promises from Obama, how we were going to have less war, we were going to really change things. Did stuff really change that much? Yeah, a lot more innocent people died from drone strikes instead of just having military attacks. Well, maybe not a lot more, but actually the same pattern of death continued. You look at the fatalities in places like Iraq, they continued under Obama. It was the same as under Bush. It's nonsense. There's not real change. As long as you're voting within those two parties, there's not real change. You know why we keep getting the same kind of garbage? Because we put up with it. Yeah, people are going to say, oh, the powers that be, they control everything. They're making this stuff happen. The Bilderberg Group, the Trilateral Commission, the Council on Foreign Relations, they're controlling everything. The Rothschilds are behind it all. You know what? You people outnumber the Rothschilds. They're one family, for crying out loud. You're millions, hundreds of millions of people. If you don't want this crap to keep going down, you can do something about it. Let's do it. Let's do something about it. You know what? People get what they want. People get what they want. If you don't want things to be a particular way, you do something different and it happens. You know why that guy at the gym has bigger muscles than you do? Because he took the time, he made the sacrifices to go buy the right kind of steroids so he could get those muscles. Okay, yeah, he probably did a bunch more work in the gym than you did too. But we're getting what we will put up with. You wonder why you're fat and having all kinds of health problems? It's because of what you chose to eat. It's because you didn't make any kind of exercise a priority. You know why people are alcoholics? Because they chose to drink. The alcohol didn't jump into their mouth. The devil didn't creep up and force alcohol in them at night. No, they made choices. Let's make better choices, America. You really think the best people out there to run this country are Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump? What's the matter with you? The reason those are the top nominees is because Americans love reality TV crap and drama. So you get two freaking drama queens. That's what you got. two drama queens are your primary candidates for president of the United States. Here's another thing. People have this crazy idea that a president has to have some specific qualities that are probably the worst qualities that you can have. And, yeah, you could blame it on the media, but why are you buying what the media says? When the media says, in order to be president of the United States, you've got to have had a lifetime of service in political offices. And you say, you know what? I need to look for a president that has a lifetime of service in political offices. That was your choice to believe that garbage. There's nothing in the Constitution that says the president has to have a lifetime of service in political offices. It says he's got to be 35 years old or older and a natural-born citizen of the United States. That's all it says. If you like that person's ideas, if you think that person is capable of carrying out their ideas, then elect them. If you don't like the system, let's say you don't like the system altogether, then do something about it. Do something to make change happen. You don't think you can make change at the ballot box? Find a place to make change and do it. Let's make it happen. Sometimes the things I hear out there just blow my mind. Really, they just blow my mind. There have been better systems of government than what we have in the United States. That sounds like heresy, Finley. How can you possibly say that? America is the greatest country in the history of the planet. Well, from what perspective? Now, the Sioux Nation, they've had unanimous voting for millennia. Nothing happens unless the entire tribe agrees on it. That way, no minority groups have anything forced on them. It's unanimous or it doesn't happen. In fact, we think of great chieftains of some of those tribes when actually the society was run by the women. Those men had specific jobs, particularly protecting the people. So we think of them as great men because of their war successes and things. But it was really a matriarchal society, not a patriarchal society. They were happy. They got along wonderfully, at least within their own tribe. And you know what? There's no system that's perfect. Now, I love America. It's got some problems now, though. It really does. If you don't think it's got problems, take a look at those top two candidates. And if you think that's not a sign of problems, you're probably not in the 2/3 of Americans that didn't even bother to vote in the last election. 2/3 of Americans who were eligible to vote in the last election, the one that resulted in President Barack Hussein Obama's second term in office, 2/3 of Americans did not bother to vote. They probably didn't like it. There's another bunch of nonsense that Americans believe. You have to vote for one of the two-party candidates or it's a wasted vote. That is nonsense. If those 2/3 of Americans who were eligible to vote had voted for a third-party candidate, a third-party candidate would have gotten elected. Because we barely had a win for the president who did win. And that was out of 1/3 of Americans. He barely got the majority of the vote from 1/3 of eligible American voters. If you don't like the two-faced party candidates, then find someone else to vote for. If you don't want to vote for me, vote for somebody else, for crying out loud. Look at the third-party candidates. Take a close look. And I'll tell you something else. Besides the idea that someone has to be a career politician, there's a second idea. They either have to be a career politician or they got to be rich. Well, I got news for you. Trump, you think he's not a career politician? He admits to having been controlling politicians for years by giving them money. Yes, he is part of the political system and has been for years with the purse strings, with the money. He's been controlling politicians. That is a career politician as much as anyone who's been sitting in a public office. Don't give me that garbage and tell me that he's not a career politician. And if you're going to think that only a career politician or one of the wealthiest people who have a complete disconnection from the average American person are the only people you can have in office, then you're going to keep getting garbage, and it's going to keep getting worse every presidential election cycle. You want to make a difference? Get off of your couch, get off of your butt. Go get in that gym and change your life. Go eat something different and change your life. Do something different politically and change your life. It's up to you. Remember, don't even try to blame it on the Trilateral Commission, the Council on Foreign Relations, the Bilderbergs, or the Rothschilds. Don't even try to blame it on them because you outnumber them. Stop. If you think they're controlling it, then stop letting them control it. You do something different and do it now. Michael Finley, 2016, I'm out.